I feel like I've seen Carl Nassib's video 100 times now, and every time I see it, I can't stop smiling. With that video, Nassib becomes the first active NFL ball player to come out as gay. And I love that Nassib is donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project, an organization that is just the best when it comes to suicide prevention for LGBTQ youth in America. This is all a big deal. The hope is that everyone is comfortable. I want that to be reality so badly. And I was so glad that Nassib said he was comfortable to get it off his chest. This counts as major necessary progress. And I agree with what Roger Goodell said about the hope that this becomes the norm and eventually, down the road, no longer newsworthy. That would be amazing, and this is a gigantic deal. Nassib is not the only gay NFL player. He's the only openly gay NFL player. And here's hoping others follow. And the wonderful impact this is going to have on kids, beautiful and very important. I love the tweet from the Raiders saying how proud they were of their defensive end yesterday. Nassib was coached by James Franklin of Penn State. He said he was more proud of Nassib for his announcement than he was when he led the nation in quarterback sacks. Perfect. I love what Nassib said. I love how he said it. This was a very important moment. Doc Rivers has a plan to fix Ben Simmons this offseason, but after what we saw in the playoffs, is Ben Simmons fixable? Let's talk this out together. No, he's not. Even more specifically, Ben Simmons is not fixable in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia 76ers must trade Ben Simmons. He absolutely sabotaged the organization. The fan base doesn't trust him. No one will ever get past that moment where he had a wide open dunk to tie a ball game, Game 7, against the Atlanta Hawks, win or go home. And of course, he didn't even bother to shoot. And Doc Rivers talked about work, and our friend Stephen A. Smith said on First Take this morning that he's heard from people that Ben Simmons has no interest in working, and honestly, I've heard the same thing. We've talked about that. His work ethic, his practice, his practice habits, the ability to improve his shot, it's just not there. And I believe that they have to move on, and he cannot function ever again playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. If the Sixers decide to part ways with Simmons in the offseason, and they must, which teams make the most sense as a trade destination? Let's keep talking this out because it's fascinating. I'm sure Ben Simmons wants to go to the Lakers. This is the best Philadelphia can get, and that's not gonna cut it. I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Dennis Schroeder in a sign and trade you're gonna have to pay him, Kyle Kuzma, and a down-the-road first-round pick. So he might want to be close to the Jenner-Kardashian family. He might want to be in LA. He might want to be with LeBron and they share an agent. It's not going to happen. The Dallas Mavericks interest me in terms of a potential fit. I just think that Kristaps Porzingis, there are issues with him and his ability to shoot and his playoff performance and his brother and his brother's involvement, just like Ben Simmons' brother's involvement in his career. So I don't think it's going to be Dallas. But then you start getting into a couple of scenarios that interest me greatly. Andrew Wiggins, I think, is a prime candidate to be traded. I think Golden State, and kicking his derriere and taking names with Bob Myers as the GM, Steve Kerr, that culture, with Klay coming back with Steph Curry, they'll never ask Ben Simmons to shoot the basketball. So it'll be solely about distributing, playing defense, and obviously making sure that on occasion in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, you can hit a shot. Golden State, to me, makes a ton of sense, and so does Portland. I think the Portland Trailblazers, in basically a straight-up transaction, I think there is a lot of potential here. Now, if you notice on our trade board, we have Philadelphia giving up a first-round pick. Listen, CJ McCollum is the better ball player in this trade. Now, obviously, if you have Damian Lillard, this will be a spot where you can take if Dame is going to stay, and still color me skeptical on that, obviously having Simmons play defense, rebound the basketball, that would make a ton of sense. But, I think that Ben Simmons must be traded. I don't think he wants to do the work. I think he's going to need veterans and an organization that at the end of the day would make sure that they kick his derriere. Golden State, to me, is the ideal fit based upon salary, based upon a match, based upon a couple of teams that need to mix it up. I would put Portland number 2 on the potential trade partner for Philadelphia in a Ben Simmons trade. Simply put, it's a stretch for the ages. This year, the last 3 seasons, every time Jacob DeGrom pitches, it's magical. It's historic. It's must-see TV. Started game 1 of a doubleheader coming off of, and you heard DeGrom reference it, another minor injury tweak was great because if the Mets weren't going to shut him down, well, you had a 7-inning game. So having DeGrom going 5, that was a recipe for success, and DeGrom was breathtaking. You know he doesn't like to come out of games, as he said, but those 5 innings, it was sensational. We are talking about 6 strikeouts, 0 runs, 1 hit, and the historic nuggets of domination are off the charts. Jacob DeGrom's season ERA is now .50. 0.50. Full run lower than the next pitcher on the list. He allowed 1 hitter fewer in his 3rd straight start. His scoreless inning streak is now at 30. DeGrom now has 12 straight starts, allowing 1 runner fewer, tying a seemingly unbreakable record set by the iconic Bob Gibson in 1968. It's out of this world special. I also had to laugh when the umpires checked DeGrom for any kind of sticky substance as per the new rules that went into effect yesterday. And what do you know? He's all good. Or better phrased, he's all great. This season feels like Koufax meets Carlton meets Pedro, all rolled into one. We think of some of the greatest regular seasons ever in Major League Baseball history for domination on the mound. But this is a stretch of greatness. It's out of a movie. DeGrom is the Cy Young. DeGrom this year is the Cy Young and the MVP. DeGrom is 1 of 1, and you can color me obsessed.